Now, community spirit is alive and well in Shannon, and next week local groups and residents will come together to build upon it. Joining us now is Denise O'Brien, PRO and board member with Shannon Community Partnership, ahead of their first community network meeting of the year. Next week's event on the 3rd of February, that's Tuesday, at the Future Mobility Campus, celebrates what's been achieved across Shannon in 2025 and is looking ahead to new collaborative projects for this year. A real example of civic engagement and community participation in action. Denise, thank you for joining me on the show.
Hi Alan, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Delighted to have you on. Can you just remind people, Denise, what Shannon Community Partnership is about, the importance of its role in the town?
Absolutely, Alan. So I'm PRO and board member myself of Shannon Community Partnership. So the partnership itself is a community-led partnership that brings people together to get practical things done for Shannon. So the partnership is a formal community development structure for the town. And we're here to be a representative voice for the people of Shannon and to advocate for improved services, facilities and whatnot. We also try to connect residents and community groups through the network. So the Shannon Community Network is the umbrella space where people can connect, share what's happening and collaborate. So the partnership is the overall kind of formal structure where the board sit. And the Community Network really is about a mandate for Shannon from the people of Shannon themselves.
Okay, and the meeting next Tuesday, what's the idea behind bringing everyone together? And why was it important to kind of pause and celebrate what you achieved last year before you jump into plans for 2026?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, less than a year ago, we had a network meeting in Shannon, and at that stage, we were getting the network and the task teams off the ground. So the board had spent a lot of time in the previous period getting governance in place and setting itself up as a correct structure, and the network really is the front-facing aspect of what we do. And the ask at that stage, Alan, was for people to come on board, to get involved, to volunteer, and people were very generous with their time, and there's been huge successes in the last year through the support of people in the community. So, for example, we have a good few task teams up and running now under the areas of disability, sustainability, health and wellness, the community. We just have so many different people with different interests that we've been able to get a good few groups off the ground. And we'd really, really like to celebrate that. And we'd like to hear from the task team members themselves on the night, which they've kindly volunteered to do. And so, it is a bit of a celebration of what's been achieved and what can be achieved when people come together. And I suppose a bit of an ask, if anybody's out there in Shannon or has an interest in Shannon that would like to get involved, there's lots of different ways to get involved. It's not always about sitting on a committee, being at meetings. It can be just giving a few hours of your time to specific tasks that you might be interested in.
And I'm thinking of Shannon, Denise, a big town that is only, like everywhere, I guess, only going to get bigger. The bigger places get, maybe the possibility or the potential there is for it to lose that community spirit, that kind of smaller feel. Is that where the importance of the SCP and having these networking meetings really comes into play, ensuring there's a strong community network and that civic engagement at a local level continues to happen?
Absolutely. This is a group that's here to stay, and I said it's powered by the mandate of the people of Shannon. And we realise that there's a diverse population and there are diverse needs across the town of Shannon. And we're here to support that, So we would obviously want to shout out to anybody who's from a diverse community, who has different needs, to just come along on the night and see what's there, because we're just all about what can be achieved when people come together. And, there can be a bit of a defeatist attitude among volunteerism and community work, but we'd say it's very much that old, that phrase, start where you are, do what you can, use what you have, because small actions do add up quickly and make people feel connected. I'll give you an example. One of the groups had a brilliant idea of doing a taster Thursday evening, not connected with food, but it's about getting local people to share their services on a free basis, so people could come and taste, a yoga class or a talk about ADHD, art, creativity, and the Shannon Town Centre were very kind to give us the use of a space there. So we've had a lot of support from within the community, different stakeholders. Future Mobility Campus, for example, is allowing us to host the night next week in their space. So yes, we feel it's really important, and that, as you said, the town is growing, the population is diverse, and for us, the more representation we can have, the better.
So the meeting next Tuesday, I guess, for any Shannon resident, not just established groups, what time does it get underway?
It gets underway at 6:30, and there will be refreshments. We've had funding from the What Dara did funding, and Smith's Cafe are providing refreshments. There'll be photographers. People have volunteered their time to do lovely video content for us. So it is going to be fun. It's going to be light. There'll be a couple of guest speakers, and then we'll have fantastic panel discussions from our wonderful volunteers to talk about their achievements. So it's 6:30 next Tuesday in the Future Mobility Campus, which is in the Industrial Estate in Shannon.
Okay, very good. I'm sure there'll be great attendance at that. Denise, thank you very much, and continued success to Shannon Community Partnership for 2026. I'm sure you'll build on the great work done last year. Thanks for being with us on the show.
Thank you, Alan. Take care.